I predicted something 10 years ago, which has become even more evident today. I said in my book, Tools for Mastering Mathematics, which I wrote with Nathan Jurset, that what students need fundamentally is in academics is not information. They need inspiration and vision. They can get information from the library as well as Google. Once they're inspired and hardworking, the technology, coaching, and teaching available will help them excel in whatever they choose to study. With the technology and tools available, teachers can help students master concepts like never before. We need to constantly seek ways to get students to care about excelling. Teachers can provide students with the tools they need to have a vision and the necessary inspiration. This was in 2014. Tools for Mastering Mathematics is talking about the fact that we can help students master math like never before. But look where we are at today with the AI age. This is part of why the tagline of Counting to Calculus is literally mathematics as it should be taught in the age of AI, quantum computing, and the space era. We need to recognize that if we want to teach math at the same level that people were learning math in 1975, we have a problem. Here's why. Every single week, you hear about another update with the AI revolution. You hear about, there's Grok, there's ChatGPT, there's Perplexity. It's one thing, there's Claude, which is interesting because I just learned about Shannon Claude, which is an interesting story. Newsthink did a YouTube video about Shannon Claude. Anyways, the information is everywhere. What students are going to have to deal with now more than ever before is how do I navigate this landscape of there's just too much. What do I do? Well, students, here's the key. When you think about people like Socrates and Plato and Plutarch and Alexander the Great, who learned from Aristotle, even though that guy's story is a little different from the philosophers. But what you realize is that they had a guide. So students and parents, what students will need much more than ever before is people that you can ask to please guide my child in navigating the complexities of the topics that they're learning. So they're going to need a guide because the knowledge is there. The information is there. So the problem isn't how to access the information. When I was in secondary school in Federal Government College Ijaniki in Lagos or Air Force Primary School Victoria Island, Lagos, when you got the textbook for the year that you were in and you didn't get the one for the next year until you came back to school, right? So you went home for the holiday and you didn't get the new books until the next year. Okay, what happens when students have access to every book for every subject from every country that they want to access? Like, what are we going to do, right? That's the age we're in. But here's the key. If somebody wants to be a mathematician, for example, I've drawn a plan for them from basic, literally, like they just started walking, all the way to they're about to go into their PhD in mathematics, right? If they want to become a physicist, we have a roadmap we can put out, right? Well, I have a roadmap I can put out there, depending on what kind of physicist they want to be. But let's say they want to be a medical physicist. Yep, we got that too, right? So the idea is I need to encourage more educators to recognize that we need to act as guides and coaches and people that walk alongside students who have a vision for where they're going. And that brings me to a key point. Students don't have a vision for their lives. People don't have vision, and that's a problem. Because in the age of abundant information, what students need more than ever before is to know, where am I headed? Now, what happens if they change their mind later? That's okay. But at any given point, they should have some idea of where they're going. I can't believe that this is even a topic of, sort of debate. It's pretty clear. Like, people don't do well if they're just going nowhere. It makes sense to go somewhere. Okay, this is a long introduction to my recruitment efforts. I want 1 billion students to do calculus for fun. I want every kid, right? But let's just go for 1 billion. Every child, calculus, at least. Calculus, linear algebra, data science, discrete mathematics, statistics, physics, chemistry, economics, business, entrepreneurship. Can we get every child to do those topics before they graduate high school? Well, we've put together a series of workbooks that would help them do that. And a lot of the textbooks come from OpenStax. So OpenStax has the textbooks that tutors would have access to. So I would love to train tutors to be able to teach whether it's using the OpenStacks or different curriculum, we'll talk. But OpenStacks is the main one. And what I've done is, this is what a student will receive. If a student says, hey, I want to take calculus, they would receive the workbook and the textbook and a coach. And the coach comes and says, I'm here to guide you in your journey of whatever the subject you're learning. So for example, this summer, 2025, a student could complete this whole course with a cohort of students, right? Build camaraderie and encourage one another and teach the students the importance of teamwork and critical thinking and problem solving and analytical thinking skills. Why is it important to have those skills? Because if your skills are solid in those areas, then you have doors that are open to you, like engineering, which is the highest return on investment when it comes to degrees, engineering, physics, mathematics, fields in that area, computer science. So our curriculum ensures that your child is operating at the highest level necessary to go into engineering school and then, of course, have a good outcome with the degree that they get if they want to be engineers. Because 50% of students drop out of engineering school in America, about 50%, according to several studies, and there's research that has been done on what is one of the main reasons that students drop out of engineering school, a lack of sufficient K-12 math preparation or STEM preparation. Right, there's a YouTube channel. There's a gentleman who has written a book, called Becoming an Engineer, and he has a YouTube channel. He has some great content. So I want to encourage parents to realize that if your child is in America and learning math and science in America, they are at a disadvantage compared to their counterparts from Singapore, India, and Nigeria, because those countries provide a solid foundation in the K-12 space, which America doesn't do at that level. Now, are there some students who are doing AP classes? Yeah, that's great, and this and that, but the messaging giving is not good in America. Here's what I mean. If a student wants to be an engineer in America and they're going through our high school system, they're like, well, should I take calculus? Should I not? And some people might tell them, no, I'll just wait till you go to college. No, that's not what happens in Germany and Singapore and Nigeria and India. No, what happens in those countries is if I know I want to be an engineer, like I know that I know, then I'm going to do calculus, then I'm going to do advanced mathematics 1, and I'm going to do advanced mathematics 2. I'm going to do 3 years of chemistry, 3 years of physics. That's what they do for those students. Now you might say, but Amos, are you limiting the opportunities of that student? And my answer to that is actually no. I have never met someone who said, you know what, I learned a lot of math in high school and it's putting me at a disadvantage. Not at all. As a matter of fact, the reverse is what I hear a lot, right? So why don't we provide a platform that gives millions of students the best math education possible through books like OpenStacks and the workbook that I've put together, which follows this book for calculus, for example, and they basically learn all the math that is necessary to flourish in calculus. My book, Tools for Master Mathematics, by the way, is free on my website. If you want it, you can also email amosthemathguy@gmail.com. Okay, let me land this plane. I want to train tutors. I want to raise a generation of well-trained tutors who have continuing education in their tutoring skills. Like you become a world-class tutor. You can also think of the tutoring job like being like an Uber for teachers. So imagine you have a day job, but you want to help a few kids. Maybe you're an engineer and you're like, I want to help a few kids master calculus. Great. So here's what I have. I have a few things. I'm not trying to intimidate anybody, but these are just a few books that I think we can cover in our tutor training course. One of the first books is called Mathematics for Human Flourishing by Dr. Francis Su. Why don't we talk about what math even is, how it can help us flourish in life, and let's discuss it in our tutor training course. Let's take a 6-week time frame and let's meet once a week and let's discuss mathematics for human flourishing. Mathematics is beautiful, but most people don't know it. There's a different book by Paul Lockhart called A Mathematician's Lament, and then there's another book by G.H. Hardy called A Mathematician's Apology. See, there's too much to study in our tutor training workshop, too many books to study. So what we're going to do is, why don't you do the first qualification, get your tutoring license through like the Counter to Calculus Tutoring Academy, and then what you can do is basically imagine that we continue, maybe every month we showcase one book and the tutors can read that and do continuing education. Just like doctors, just like physicists, medical physicists, we have to do continuing education. Which reminds me, I need to go watch a lecture on PET here in a second. But okay, so let's read books like Learn Like a Pro by Dr. Barbara Oakley. This book came out years ago called How People Learn. They use it in graduate schools for teaching in some STEM programs. I found this one at Cambridge University, at a library nearby at Cambridge University, called In Order to Learn, How the Sequence of Topics Influences Learning. That seems very interesting. The Origins of the Infinitesimal Calculus, which is the story of Isaac Newton and Leibniz and the story of calculus, the calculus. Fermat's last theorem. Let's talk about some exciting math problems that might get our students excited to learn mathematics. And then, of course, the biography of Leonhard Euler. Euler was good. Okay, let me do this. So these two books would be a great start. There's one called Peak by Anders Ericsson, and then I think that's a good start. So take these two books, add Peak, read those three books. Your understanding of mathematics will be solid. Your understanding of how people learn will be pretty good. Your understanding of how to inspire people will improve. Your understanding of how people should practice to become masters at anything will be very good. And then the Euler book is important because one of the things about Counter to Calculus is it's seeking to teach mathematics at the highest level, and it uses people like Euler and Newton as the standard, meaning that we want to see young people flourish and aspire for the stars, right? They used to say things like reach for the moon, and if you miss, you land in the stars. That's actually astronomically false. We need to stop doing that. So that is my advice concerning these books. So Tutor Training 2025, we're looking for 12 people to join the cohort of tutors. I think that there are many ways to inspire young people to flourish in their journey in mathematics, and I think tutoring can really provide that opportunity. So this is my call to recruit the tutors. It'll be about 6 weeks. 8 weeks. It'll be an 8-week course. We'll meet once a week for about an hour and a half. We'll discuss the book that we're reading, and then I'll continue sharing about the tutoring journey. Think of it like an opportunity to also do like an internship, so you can shadow some tutors. And after 8 weeks, then you get your Counting to Calculus tutoring certification. Of course, we'll have all the details. But right now, we're just trying to see where are the people that are looking to teach mathematics, to get people from basic math all the way to calculus, all the way to statistics, linear algebra, discrete math. You can choose what course you want to specialize in. You don't have to know everything about all the courses, of course. Let me see if there's any other important piece. Well, please subscribe to this channel, because this is where I'll be putting some of the resources that would help guide you in your quest to being a world-class tutor. We are looking for tutors in America and beyond, because our goal is at least 1 billion. Let's get 1 billion people in the world, 1 billion children saying, math is beautiful, and I want to do more math. Where is all the math game? Like, I want to, even at birthday parties, how cool would it be that people are talking about the history of math at a birthday party, right? Okay, maybe that's too much to ask. Okay, do I have anything else for you today? Not at the moment. I look forward to meeting some of you in class. Email amosthemathguy@gmail.com. amosthemathguy@gmail.com if you're looking for any resources, or if you want to join the Counting to Calculus tutoring cohort of 2025, cohort 1. Take care. As far as timeline, when we're going to start, I apologize, I should have said this earlier. We should be starting middle of April. So let's get people signing up. But for now, as I said, why don't you get your copy of Mathematics for Human Flourishing, and let's start the conversation of raising the next generation of scientists, mathematicians, and thinkers who are also solid in the history and philosophy of science. Take care. Have a blessed day.